I have successfully pressed all the buttons, Bill.
Excellent. Those buttons are hard to press.
Welcome to the Friday Hangout. Bill Meeks from Everly Heights and BillMeeks.com, of course.
Of course.
Good to have you. Good to hang out with you today, man.
Funny enough, you mentioned the BillMeeks.com. I have actually had several other Bill Meekses approach me about purchasing that domain name. I haven't let it go because, I have some value tied to that identity. But there's competing Bill Meekses out there gunning for my stuff.
Yeah. How many are there, do you think?
I have personally interacted with probably 15 of them.
Have you really?
I have. Absolutely. Thanks to social media, you just like search yourself, ego search. And then you're like, oh, wait, there's a guy who's a math teacher in Massachusetts.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I've thought about assembling a league of Bill Meekses. I haven't quite got the motivation or the real reason to do it yet. But
what was there was a documentary about people with the same name. I've met one other Tom Merritt. He's a stand-up guy. Turns out, though, I believe he was adopted. So not like we're not really. There's like no like, are you related? He's like, I don't know, could be, but not because my name's Merritt.
He didn't have his Merritt certificate of authenticity with him.
No, yeah. So there's "Tell Me Who I Am," a 2019 documentary produced by Ed Perkins. Oh, no, same name. Apparently there's a lot of these. I was remembering one where a guy had a club where he got all the people with his name to get together and have a meeting every year, like a conference.
Maybe that's where I got the idea. It's total ripoff. But actually, like, there's a concerning number of Bill Meekses within my own family. My father was a Bill Meeks, my grandfather was a Bill Meeks, and my kid is a William Meeks, but Bill Meeks. Like,
so
it's
you're the third, and he's the fourth.
Not technically, because we alternate. It alternates middle names. So I'm Kennard. My father was Roger. His father was Kennard.
Okay, and
my son is Roger. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
And what's their social security numbers?
It's 135. No, I'm kidding.
That's amazing. Hey, I see Amos sneaked in the backstage. So Amos might be joining us here in a second. Good to see everybody. Stealth Dave in there. Osman is in there. Questar is in there. Who else? We got Ryan. Ryan's over in the Patreon chat in Southern Colorado. Oh, you're driving. You're on the I-25. Keep your eyes on the road, Ryan. Hey, Amos.
Hey, Tom.
Amos, Bill, Amos.
Nice to meet you.
Your
I actually haven't met Bill.
How have you not met each other? It seems crazy to me.
Like when we were talking about it pre-show, I was like, that seems weird. Like, we run around in enough concentric circles around each other. We should have run into each other at some point.
Yep.
I'm
definitely.
like, but you were both at the same. No, one that was South by Southwest, and that was Dragon Con. That was not the same thing.
Yep. I'm slowly marking down all the people that I want to, in the community that I haven't met yet. All the other hosts of programs.
Sounds like a threat.
Things like that. So it's a nice list as opposed to a.
Oh, okay. That's good.
It's a guest note versus a death note. So,
yeah. There you go.
As long as it's not a
Tom, I just want to let you know the weekend edition is ready to go. It's all scheduled up and out there.
Excellent.
Patreon was giving me hassle this morning. I've had nothing but internet troubles all week this week.
You have had the weirdest internet trouble, Bill. He was not able to get Google to launch on his internet, but other things would.
Yeah, it was
really?
It was Google's DNS because I have my router set to go through Google's DNS instead of which one my local ISP wants to send me to this week. But yeah, anything that was using Google's DNS was not going through for me. I had to hotspot over my phone to use Verizon server to go to it instead of my local ISP. So
yeah, I actually had that same issue with Google DNS because I had it set up to go through my router and everything. And one day it just like crapped out for like 4 hours. And I was like, okay, I can't have that. I'll go back to the other.
Yep. And I did
At least you can always fall back.
I did confirm. I found some sites with their actual IP address and used that, and I could get there fine.
Did you try changing from the Google DNS in the router and see
Tom,
if that worked?
I've had not enough time to do that.
Okay. No, fair. Totally fair.
That, and every time I'm thinking about it, I'm actively using the internet. It's like,
Using
well,
the
no,
internet. Yeah. You're
right
like,
now
I
is
don't got
not a
time for that.
convenient time.
Yeah.
You know what? I say memorizing the IP address is a really good tech practice anyway. You know, just so you have it, just in case. Just
for
in case,
every
you
site
lose
that
your-
you use. Yeah.
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 Exactly.
and all of them, you know, because sites often have like not only an IPv4, but also a bunch of IPv6. You should remember the entire range of every site you visit.
Well, it
only
keeps that
practical.
part. It keeps that part of your brain warmed up that used to remember phone numbers.
Yeah.
You know. So.
Yeah. Haven't used it since
Yeah.
the 90s. Let's go ahead and
Yeah,
dust
you're
that
not
off.
that's empty. That's not
Yeah.
being used for
Exactly.
anything.
Exactly. You don't want it to atrophy.
Yeah. That's like a
I wonder,
JC Penney at the mall. You're just waiting for somebody to walk in.
How much data is located on the DNS table? Like, how big is that?
The DNS, you know what? I looked that up when I was doing Know a Little More,
Yeah.
and the synced book, but I don't remember. It's not as much as you would think.
But would it be like small enough to conveniently, continually, like update on your own server? Like if you have a NAS, keep your own
Yeah,
DNS table.
you could
and-
actually mimic it. You'd become part of the domain name system at that point.
I'm assuming it's probably either a text file or text document or like a really simple database. You know?
Yeah. The okay, let's see. Who's saying this? About
It's a CSV file.
I'm trying to find a it looks like it might be about 22 gigabytes. So yeah, if you got a terabyte hard drive,
How often do you have to? I mean, how often would you want to sync that up though? Like, major sites aren't going to change very often, right? But like new sites are coming out all the time.
yeah, and that's just the
everything else.
.com space. That it gets bigger if you start to add all the other subdomains,
Oh,
which
see.
there's more of. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want all the TLDs? You're going to need a couple of terabyte hard drives. But you could do it, is the thing, right?
Yeah.
You just buy a couple of drives and mimic them over. It used to be a
Yeah.
text file that was handled by one person. And she was just like, oh, you need to put a new domain in there? Great. Let me add it.
Clickety clackety.
Wait, when I was working in broadcast television, I was shocked the number of complex systems that like people depend on for like weather alerts and stuff that were operated by text files or CSVs that some guy went in and manually updated. I mean, they might have changed it by now, but this was 5 or 6 years ago. But a disturbing amount of stuff is built in Notepad, kind of.
Yep.
By the way, I was worried about Ryan driving while listening, but he said he responded on Patreon, definitely swipe is good Taylor's Halloween, types happen, typos. So,
Well,
yeah, I think we're
yeah,
fine.
you
I
should
know we have his
apologize
full
to him.
attention.
Yeah, you should apologize to him, Tom. You really sold him short there.
then, of course, he followed that up with like a huge paragraph about mail server records and anti-spam processes that makes perfect sense. Yeah. Thank you, Ryan, for that. That was good. Okie doke. The juvenile part of my brain now wants to create a site that will provide you the IP address of any website domain, and it shall be called ipfreely.com.
There might be a competing site. I don't know. Or no, that's what's the one that's like it lets you know when's the good time of a movie to go to use the facilities.
RunP.
RunP. I haven't
RunP,
used
that's
RunP
it.
in a while.
Yeah.
I guess haven't gone to a movie in a while. Is the problem.
Yeah.
Ryan says it's voice to text, and he doubts that it actually makes perfect sense, but it made perfect sense to me.
It's because you're using voice to text often enough that you can just you
Yeah, I
automatically
translate it
Yeah.
in my head.
yeah.
Yep.
Well, one of the reasons we wanted to have Bill on, not just because he's a fabulous hang and a proper gentleman, but also you got a new season of Everly Heights coming out.
Yeah, Everly Heights Tales, my audio drama podcast I started last year. It's about a town in Ohio called Everly Heights that has a way of hanging on to people. You might want to leave, you might have bigger aspirations, something about the town is going to hold you there. Now, the way this kind of thematic thread translates to the stories is we have a bunch of different stories. Some of them are sitcoms, there are horror stories, it's an anthology series, but they're all set in this same town in Ohio, characters pass and forth, back and forth between them, and they all address the thematic question, is nostalgia a good thing or a bad thing?
I remember wondering that.
Wasn't that great when we were talking about that? Yeah.
So season 2, it looks like you have 2 episodes out, right, so far?
Yeah, just dropped the second episode, The Weirdy World of Jim Colvin, yesterday. That's some of these are written for the audio drama medium. Some of them are pilots and TV pilots and screenplays that I've written over the past 5 years to try and get my screenwriting career going that I've adapted into the audio drama form. This one is one of those examples. It was based on a screenplay I wrote probably in 2022 called Noslu the Great, which was basically it's basically like Alf, but really kind of examining that whole idea of like keeping a secret. And instead of an alien from Melmac, Noslu is a dark troll wizard from another dimension. So,
okay, Noslu the Great.
Noslu the Great, played by my good improv buddy Dan Pavitich.
Oh,
and
fantastic!
I think I actually mispronounced his last name, but I'm going to keep it because we've talked about this and he's cool with it. So.
And he decided that he's going to just change how he pronounces his name rather than make you edit something.
Exactly. And we've both released press releases on it. You should see more about it in the news cycle next week.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, thank you, Dan Pavitovich. I apologize. I don't even know Dan. I shouldn't be playing with his last name. So these, you could jump in at any episode, right? Like,
yeah.
They're designed that way.
Exactly. I mean, there are settings, characters, even themes that go between the different episodes, but every episode is designed to be its own standalone thing that has its own point. Now, if you check out a lot of the episodes, then you're going to catch a lot more stuff. You're going to be like, oh, I could kind of trace Mr. Matheson's arc through these 3 or 4 different episodes until he gets his own big episode. Otherwise, he's a supporting player in somebody else's story.
And if you listen to him out of order, does it just end up being like, oh, that's a cool backstory to that character I heard in a later episode? Does it work like that?
Yeah, for season 1, definitely it works like that quite a bit. In fact, I'm going through to do a collection of them, and I'm like, I'm going to mix up the order because why not?
Oh yeah.
But for season 2, I am kind of building in more of a structure that kind of starts with, Mr. Matheson's Lone Division, the season premiere, leads directly into this week's episode because you meet some characters that are main characters in this week's episode. And then we'll be following up on these concepts later on in the season, towards the end of the season. Along the way, we're going to be introducing new characters, new concepts, new genres, but it'll all tie up at the end of the season. I'll also say, if people listen to my previous audio drama, The Fakest is probably going to be making an appearance in that episode.
Really?
Too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the goals of this project, once I decided to make it an audio drama, is it's going to be kind of the Meeks multiverse. Like, I have several different fictional properties I've created over the years, like The Fakest and my Dog Boy Adventures series of books. We just did our first Dog Boy Adventures in Everly Heights is a syndicated TV show in the 90s, like a live action TV show. And we did the holiday special that got that show canceled as a Christmas episode a couple months ago. So.
Oh, that's great. I love that. And if you need to kill anyone in The Fakest again, you know who to call.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Like, if I can work a McFernie into this episode, I definitely
need to kill a McFernie. Just say it. I'm always ready.
Tom, I appreciate the reminder, but I'm always aware that I can kill you fictionally at
so many times. Yeah. This is fantastic. So I guess I'm taking from what you're telling me, don't worry about having to go back and listen to episode or season 1 unless you want to. You can always get to that. Jump in on season 2 and just start with episode 1, and you're in on the new season. And then you can go back and listen to season 1 at your leisure, so to speak.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Like I honestly, I think our season premiere this year, Mr. Matheson's Lone Division, which was an adaptation of a webcomic I did for Everly Heights about a year and a half ago called Mr. Matheson's Arithmetips. I think it's probably the standout episode to me of the series so far, and that's not just because I play Mr. Matheson.
Well, but it's no small part of it, I bet.
Oh, it's not. That's my Mr. Matheson voice, yeah.
Well, cool, man. One of the things I remember we talked about in person a while back ago, and I think we even talked about it on shows, was your use of like generative tools and generative models with stuff. But I know that has evolved, so I wanted to chat a little bit about that because there's a lot of people in the audience who are skeptical of these tools. And a lot of people in the audience who are very much like, no, you can do everything with them. And I think both groups and anyone in between can benefit from hearing your experience of like using them a lot and then I guess kind of figuring out what they're good for you.
Yeah. So Everly Heights is an old concept. I've been working on these stories since about 2021. November of, oh gosh, it was like 2 years ago, maybe in November or December, the Stable Diffusion 1.3 came out, which was, this Gen AI image tool. And I looked at it, I've been a graphic artist for a number of years, a video producer for a number of years. I was like, this seems kind of like maybe I could get it to help me make like a character T-poses that I could animate for an animated series. So I dug in on that process. It started with a bunch of T-poses I made in Adobe Illustrator. And then I took those, I trained a model on those, photoshopped my face on them, and then kept training the model and getting a new data set from that trained model and refining until about probably about a year and a half ago, I had a whole family of models that did very specific things and general style models. Like, general style model, I had Everly Heights Comics. I also had Everly Heights Character Maker, which allowed you to do a four pose character turnaround for a character for animation. Everly Heights Talk Mouth, which let you generate all the phonemes that you need for animation. Yeah, prop generator, all these very specific things that you need to do for animation, I was building these tools out for. And so once the tools got good enough, and, I got some help, some sponsorships from different AI companies because I was using the tech. So I was able to hire actors and stuff. I was like, okay, I'm going to do a pilot for this. So we recorded the pilot called Very Special, which became the Everly Heights Tales episode Welcome Freshmen from season 1. With a big cast. Tom very graciously stepped in as the narrator for our final table read. And I was like, perfect. And, I have money here to, pay actors for and pay some other artists for to help me, take these AI tools and make something professional with them. And then the AI company backed out on me. So, you live, you learn. I spent about a year and a half trying to get that side of the financing going again so I could pay for the humans that I wanted to use in the process. And I just, the kind of the climate and the tide changed on AI a little bit, especially in creative spaces, and people saw it as a threat. And while I think that the stuff I was doing, like, making artwork to train my own models and stuff, was sort of like the best case scenario for an artistic creative use of it, I hated that people weren't checking out the stories because of the AI association.
Yeah.
So, I'm still using the tools behind the scenes, for various things, but, pretty much every voice you hear is a human. And this season, I am even leaning away from using the AI models I spent years developing for a Everly Heights style and backing off and using more like Photoshop, or for the episode this week, The Weirdy World of Jim Colvin. I actually draw that myself. So
yeah, human made has become something. I think that's really interesting. Just in general, that the idea of you're in control of the tools that you're using, but just the fact that you were using the tools turned enough people away that it was a detriment.
yeah, I think that it was a balance, because like if you deal with people who might be experimenting with these tools professionally, they kind of get it. Anyone who sees it from the outside, there's that whole sort of AI slop reputation that it has, and it's low effort content. You know, it's
Right.
yeah, and I don't want my content to be associated with that, because, you know, the ideas behind it, I put a lot of effort into, and I don't want someone to see, like, I don't know, a sixth finger that I missed on a hand, and think that I'm not putting my artistic all into the stories I'm telling.
Yeah, and this is your album art that we're looking at here, right? You made this.
Yeah. Everything behind from the table up is hand drawn by me with my little mouse pen over here, and then the table and the stuff on it is stock photography. And I think I grabbed some images of Floam to fill the bowls there, because it's a plot point in the episode. Noslew's eating Floam. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you need story consistency there.
Exactly.
Floam consistency. Yeah. How do you feel about that? Like, how do you feel about the fact that something that was helping you be creative now you aren't using? Does it turn out that you're like, it's really not that different, or do you feel like I can't do as much as I could before? I'm just curious.
No, I think I can do exactly as much as I could before. It just takes more time sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. Okay. So you're not like, oh, it was a huge productivity boost, and it's dragging me down not to use it, but I can't use it. It's more like, maybe I gained a little bit of time, but not that big of a deal.
Yeah. And kind of switching gears a little bit and how I was presenting the project. I have some experience in that, because my previous audio drama project, The Fakest, I started as like, a fun, cute idea, because in 2016, the idea of like fake news was entering the election discourse, right?
Yeah.
And I was working at a news station at the time, and every journalist I knew was the complete opposite of the idea of fake news. They were all dedicated to being objective and reporting the facts. And so I was like, why don't I do a satirical thing about a news station that is actually devoted to presenting the fake news for real? I created The Fakest. It took about a year and a half. And by the time I released it, that went from like a cute idea that Comedy Central was toying around with for a show and stuff, to something that people were like, ooh, icky.
Yeah.
So it took like a year and a half of that project, releasing episodes, to kind of help it push past that initial idea people had of it, when they were like, this is like some conservative comedy or something, which it was, if anything, kind of, not to get too political, but complete opposite. Like it's a show that preached the importance of empathy, right? Which is kind of, I'd say probably the opposite of a lot of ideas that, the other fake news people are probably pushing.
So you then decided, you know what? Fake news happened. Let me ride another train that then turned out to be kind of like turned around against you again with AI.
Well, it's like I see the train coming. I'm like, ooh, that's a train. Oh, look, it's going to Poughkeepsie. I'm going to hop on that train.
Yeah.
And then as I hop on the train, I see change from Poughkeepsie to hell on the side of it. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
no. But we'll have to figure it out.
You're like
we'll get to Poughkeepsie somehow.
The internet advanced technology hobo.
Yeah. Some might say that. Some might say the harbinger of doom. If I pick a technology,
So what's your favorite technology these days, Bill?
I like a lot of the tech. Whatchamacallit?
I'm just wondering which one's going to turn on me next. That's all.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, I think AI robots with built-in weaponry, they're the future. I mean, they have knives built into them, but those knives, while they can kill people, they can also chop your sandwich for you. You know, so
Tom, it's time to clear out the whole garage. The whole stockpile you had of those automated robots with AI.
Yeah, especially the cooking ones with the knives.
Yeah, not so worried about the spatula ones. It's the knives.
Honestly, that's a pretty hilarious idea. Bill's like, so I had the fake news thing that ended up like, turning against me. And then the AI thing, we had a lot of, society changing their opinions of it. But I'm totally into automated restaurants. Like, that's my next thing. Come and watch. It would be like a Japanese, what's the Japanese restaurant where they like cut up all the stuff in front of you, but it's a robot with knives. Benihana.
Yeah.
It's like a robotic Benihana, and it's just robots with huge, machete knives cutting up your food in front of you.
And then
instead of flipping shrimp at you, it's throwing knives.
Yeah.
And then a few years of really excellent sushi, and then the Matrix happens. So
right.
we'll come around to it. Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah. I want to make a joke about a war with robots, and the sad commentary on society these days is every example location I thought of, I was like, nope, somebody will have a problem with that. Nope, somebody will have a problem with that. Nope, somebody. In fact, total tangent here, but Justin Robert Young has a regular guest to talk about military technology and military strategy with him, and in explaining something, he was trying to make the point that, the United States has made a military plan for everything you could conceive of, right? Like, it doesn't have to be likely for the United States to have a plan they could pull out. And his point was like, so when you have something like Venezuela happening, the fact that they had a plan for that doesn't mean they were always intending to do it. They have a plan for everything. And he threw out the example of like, they have a plan for invading Canada. And you hear him stop and go, which I guess isn't as crazy as it used to sound. I was like, oh man, like you can't, like what would be the thing he could say there? It's just.
Now, Tom, to be fair, it's not a plan for invading Canada. It would be a plan for stopping the aggression of Canada should Canada turn. It's always written in a way.
Oh yeah.
Like they're always designed in a way to make it look like America is the victim. Having read many plans, without getting any details, every plan I've ever read on a classified level starts out with the basis that you are defending America, not that you're the aggressor.
So it's not a plan for invading Canada. It's a plan for defending ourselves against the Great Northern Scourge.
Yes, it's always like something like that. It's never in secret plans, the war plans that I've read. Granted, I've only read a few, but the ones that I've read.
But you've read a few, which is a few more than I've read.
They're all written from the defender's point of view.
Mm-hmm. That kind of makes sense, right? Like you're the hero of your own story. So if you're writing the plan, you always want to be in the right.
So like the Venezuela thing would be like the plan for defending against sudden aggression. For Venezuelan oil,
arrest of a criminal
the plans are never we're gonna go beat up somebody. It's always we're gonna defend ourselves in some ostentatious way.
Yeah. Stealth Dave says the key to invading Canada would be to occupy and hold as many Tim Hortons as you can. Is that true anymore? I feel like my Canadian friends are kind of roll their eyes a little bit at Tim Hortons these days more than they used to.
It's passe.
Yeah, maybe I just have, it could be my bubble of Canadian friends too.
Would it be like the way to conquer America would be to occupy all the Sizzlers in the 90s?
Right, because occupying the Sizzlers now, you'd be like, but we can't even get served.
Which was the problem in the 90s too.
Yeah.
Canada, one way or the other, there's a lot of snow there. I don't like snow. Whatever, but my favorite band, Bare Naked Ladies, was from Canada. So if there's any sort of blockades or tariffs related to their new material, we're gonna have a problem.
They already don't wear clothes.
Yeah,
they do.
What can you take from them? They're Bare Naked Ladies.
The best guy already left the band too. Still.
Yeah. That was the tariff. They took him out of the band.
10% is 1/5 of the band. Yeah, actually, that tracks. That tracks.
The Quaystar says Timmy's isn't what it used to be. So Quaystar, not that I expect you to speak for all Canadians, but what is the thing that everyone seems to love these days?
It's gonna be something stupid American like Dunkin' or something like that. Like
maybe for the U.S., I think it would be like, I don't know, Whole Foods. If you really want to cripple the inner the wealthy suburbs,
only the blue cities, Tom. I don't know how many red cities.
No,
have
man,
Whole
Foods is everywhere. It started in Austin, for goodness sake. Well,
I think you'd have to expand that upwards from Whole Foods to just Amazon and Amazon in general, because Amazon Prime.
It's harder to occupy Amazon.
If that got taken out, then a lot of people would be very upset. Yeah,
I was thinking of places people like to hang out, but you're right. If you took over the Amazon warehouses, you're done.
Occupy Amazon.
And if you're occupying Whole Foods, you're occupying Amazon.
Right.
You are,
Yeah.
or at least like 1/5 of Amazon or something.
What's the thing that everybody in the U.S. loves to go to? College football?
No,
It's pretty popular.
it is
Racing?
Fireworks,
definitely not NASCAR. It's been on the decline for years.
Yeah.
Disney.
I don't know. People are starting to make routes overseas to go to Disney because it's cheaper overseas than it is here in the States. So I don't know.
I mean, you're just
even
going
with
to
the
shoot
flight.
down everything, Amos, because you hate America.
It's because I'm in Alaska. None of the stuff you're talking about is here.
It's because you're like, I'm just jealous.
We don't have Whole Foods or Disney. What are you talking about? We got Walmart and off-brand Kroger. Okay,
Bass Pro Shop, a.k.a. Cabela's.
I was going to say Cabela's bought Bass Pro, right? Or is it the other way around?
They're
One
the
or
same
other?
now. I don't remember who bought who, but they're now Hardee's and Carl's Jr.
Yeah.
And there's REI is another in that category.
Yeah, we have REI here, but it's all mountain climbing stuff. It's not like
Dunkin' actually, you mentioned Dunkin' earlier. Like Dunkin' is actually kind of universal.
We don't have it
Costco. Quaystar says Costco, but
We do
are you
have
talking about
Costco.
for Canada? Quaystar says Starbucks is big here now. I prefer my local independent coffee shop. Stoic Squirrel spelled it Whole Foods, HOLE. They only sell donuts and bagels.
As long as they have some schmear,
Ambassador Domo, like Dunkin' sucks. Like everybody, as soon as you say something, somebody's gonna say it sucks.
I used to really love the Dunkin' Donuts coffee. Like when I lived in Philadelphia, I lived across the street from Dunkin' Donuts, and I would go there every week to get like a pound of hazelnut and then like a cup of another flavor, and then obviously 3 or 4 donuts for the road.
Yeah. I actually really like Dunkin'. I'm going to regret saying this, but I think I like Dunkin's donuts more than I like their coffee. And that doesn't mean the problem with saying something like that is like Tom hates Dunkin' coffee. And I'm like, no, I'm not saying that. Their coffee's fine. I will have their coffee when I'm there. But everybody talks about, oh, Dunkin' coffee, it's amazing. And I'm like, it's good, but I never crave Dunkin' coffee. But I do like their donuts.
We don't have a Dunkin' up here, but we do have 2 Krispy Kremes.
Ooh, Krispy Kreme.
Nice.
Always a good one.
That being
They
said,
don't
me
do
and
the give you a free donut anymore. Remember, they used to just give you a donut when you were waiting in line.
Yeah.
Last time I was there, they
also
don't do
put the
that.
hot sign on, and it turns off right about the same time the doors open. So that's probably just a local thing, but yeah, like you can't get in there when the hot sign's on,
Yeah.
which is like half
Well,
the fun.
Me and Tom live in Los Angeles, the land of independent donuts too. So like
Oh
I don't.
gosh, yeah.
I can't think of the last time here that I had like a a generic store bought donut. It's always
yeah,
some
'cause-
indie shop like
Well,
Joe's
if it's
Donuts or
at worst, it's a local chain, right? Because there's so many like DK and Winchell's and
Trejo's.
yeah,
I used to love
Trejo's.
Winchell's.
Yeah.
What's the
In
one? Yum
Lancaster,
Yum?
they had a Winchell's right across the
Yum
street
Yum.
from. They had a Winchell's right across the street from Wiener Schnitzel, and it was like the WW block. It was so amazing. You could go there for breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
Then you step it up and you get all the like Star Donut and like the foofy high end donuts that are really delicious. Isn't Star Donut from Portland though? No, wait, that's
I don't know.
Voodoo.
That's
Donut.
Voodoo.
Yeah,
Voodoo,
Voodoo is from Portland. Star's from somewhere else though. I don't think it started in LA.
So here we have the same thing, but it's all pizzas. So you have Nick Pizza, you've got KGB Pizza, you've got the Great Alaskan Pizza Company, you've got Palmer Pizza, you've got like all these little independent pizza places in are what our local thing is here. So Moose's Tooth is like world famous apparently because their pizzas.
Is it like different styles of pizza, or is it all just basically like the same kind of pie, just different,
very different, very different. There's certain places, depending on where you go, I will change my pizza choice depending on where you're going. Like Knick Pizza, they're very local. My wife is actually friends with the owner. Their dough is amazing, but I can't stand their chicken, so I don't get chicken pizza from there at all. Great Alaska Pizza Company.
There are at
dough
least
isn't
3
as
people
good.
going, why would you ever get chicken pizza? Try it. It can be good. Yeah.
Barbecue chicken pizza is pretty good if you like the chicken, but I don't like the chicken at Knick Pizza, so I don't get it.
See, I like chicken on a pizza. I like chicken on a pizza. I don't like the barbecue as the sauce. It's a little too sweet
as the
for
base.
me,
Yeah.
I think of barbecue pizza as the really cheap pizza you could get at Grog's in Champaign, Illinois, when I was in an undergrad, because you could I think it was a buy one get one free, so you bought one for $5 and you got another one for free. But you had to get the barbecue pizza to get that. Dude.
Was your local pizza store there in Southern Illinois? Did they cut square slices or traditional pie slices?
Okay, so Grog's was in Northern Illinois because that's where I went to college. But where I grew up, we had Mario's. Mario's is still underway in Greenville, Illinois. If you're ever traveling Interstate 70, get off exit 45, go into town to Mario's. You will not regret it. And yes, they do the party cut square slices. They'll do it triangular if you ask them to, but if you don't, they're just going to do the squares.
Funny enough, you bring that up.
Was Indiana. It blew me away. Like, why are we eating square slices of pizza? This is so weird.
Because then you get the crustless one, right? It's harder to eat, but there's no crust. It's all pizza.
There was, where I grew up in Wheeling, West Virginia, where I based Everly Heights on, there was a shop called DeCarlo's Pizza that it's called Ohio Valley Pizza. Basically, it's square slices. What they do, they'd put the sauce on the dough, cook that, and then when they brought it out, they'd put cold cheese and pepperoni on it. So, a very kind of unique way to present pizza, and it's actually plug. There's a pizza shop in Everly Heights called Squares Pizza that's inspired by that. But great pizza. I always get some when I go back.
So St. Louis, now Mario's does not use Provel, although I think you can ask them for Provel. But Provel cheese is this very processed cheese that's very popular in St. Louis, which is not far away from where I grew up. But I've never heard of the raw, not raw, but the cold topping thing. That's interesting.
Well, the place in the Grove that I used to go to, the DeCarlo's in the Grove, it was kind of raw, but they only did pepperoni and cheese. Like that was all they did. Other DeCarlo's locations would have other toppings that they would pre-cook before they put them on the pizza.
Okay.
But pepperoni, you don't really have to do that. And they throw it on the pizza, they put it in the box. By the time you get it home, that pepperoni's pretty warm. Maybe not completely cooked and crispy, but it's nice and warm. And the grease is all on everything.
I love that Larry and Atlanta's granddaughter used to work at Mario's in Greenville. That's
nice.
It really is a small world. That's amazing. So getting back to Everly Heights based on Wheeling, Virginia.
West
Virginia. Sorry.
Distinction.
Yeah.
Not one I'm particularly proud of, but one that exists.
I was going to say, most states have a thing where, like Greenville, Illinois, there's a Greenville, South Carolina, Greenville, North Carolina, Greenville, California. Like there's a Greenville in almost every state. But with West Virginia having once been part of Virginia, I'm guessing you don't have a lot of towns in West Virginia that have another town of the same name in Virginia.
Not that I know of. There might be maybe there's a Richmond, West Virginia, and I know there's a Richmond, Virginia, but none that I can think of. That I can think of.
Anyway, I apologize to everyone for saying Wheeling, Virginia by mistake. I caught myself immediately, but
don't apologize. People do it all the time. That was one of the local pet peeves that people would get upset about.
Yeah.
It's not Virginia, it's West Virginia. everyone from West Virginia talks like that. I just, I did years of tutelage to get it out of my voice.
Yeah. Yeah. You and, now I'm forgetting Daniel Johnston. Daniel Johnston's from West Virginia, the indie musician.
Oh, okay. I trying to think of fame from Wheeling itself. Probably the most famous person I can think of is John Corbett from Northern Exposure. He grew up in, oh yeah, and of course Brad Paisley is from Wheeling, West Virginia. He actually, if you go back and listen to the Everly Heights Tales episode, the Museum of What Was, the musical episode, Brad Paisley was actually trained to play guitar by my musician friend Ryan's dad.
Oh,
and
no
Ryan
kidding.
and Ryan taught me how to play guitar. So I'm like 3 degrees separated from Brad Paisley and almost as talented.
Yeah. I mean, I would call it even.
Yeah, pretty even. I mean, if I put on a cowboy hat, I'm ahead.
Thank you, Paulo, for noticing my hat. I appreciate that. Yeah, Two Dorks TV points out Brad Paisley is a killer guitarist, as is Bill Meeks.
As is, well, my friend's name was Ryan Horde. Roger Horde was his dad who taught Brad how to play.
Yeah.
So.
No, Daniel Johnston is like an indie artist. Died not too long ago, 2019. But he was famous in Austin because that's where he made his name. But he would do these chord organ, like atonal songs that he would sing, but the songs were just haunting lyrics and interesting melodies. And everybody loved him. But I guess he was born in Sacramento, according to Wikipedia, but he grew up in New Cumberland, West Virginia.
Yeah, it's like when my brain sees Daniel Johnson, I think Daniel Webster, then Andrew Johnson, and then like, okay, now I have a good hook for it.
And then you're home to the Hermitage with Andrew.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, that might be Andrew Jackson. No, that's Andrew Johnson.
The important point is all my mnemonic devices are founding fathers. That's just like,
That's so patriotic of you.
I try.
No, when I brought up Wheeling, West Virginia as the basis for Everly Heights, I was trying to steer us seamlessly back to talking about Everly Heights. Because I'm curious if you're willing to talk about it, because I don't want to turn people off, but like what generative models, generative tools and things are you using, or are you, to kind of help you with any of your creative process?
Well, like I said, it's a lot less than it used to be. I am using some stuff though. Like for one, I'm using 11 Labs. There are 40 actors, physical actors in Everly Heights Tales so far. There's a few characters I am using virtual voices for, to a degree. One example is the character Ricky Special from Welcome Freshman, and he appears in Noslu. I can do a Michael J. Fox as, Marty McFly impression if I work up to it. And then I can get about a solid 5 or 10 minutes, which isn't great for consistency, but is great for building a data set to fine tune a voice on 11 Labs. So for example, for the character Ricky Special, I did that. I have this Ricky Special model that sounds kind of like Michael J. Fox because the character was based on Michael J. Fox's character from Family Ties. And then I go in and I record all the Ricky Special lines, then run it through voice to voice. And so it has all my intonation, my performance, but I don't have to maintain that impression for that entire length of time.
To me, that sounds similar to auto-tuning or compressing a voice to make it bassier or something. Like it's because it's your performance, you're just processing it.
Yeah, or like Vocaloids, I guess, are pretty popular now too. They aren't quite as robust for what I would want to use them for, but where the AI models and services like 11 Labs are. But yeah, it's basically just a Vocaloid is all I'm doing with it.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's virtually indistinguishable from it, except that you fine-tuned it, right? You made it.
Yeah.
Because it's trained on you. Processing you. Right. Yeah. No, that's really cool.
Exactly. Yeah. And, much like any other AI model thing I've ever done or fine tuning, it's a matter of iteration. Like for that, like I said, I did like the impression of Michael J. Fox. I made the model with that. I did the entire episode of Welcome Freshmen using that model and everything. I took that and I exported all that out as a new data set, did a final model, and then redid all the lines with that final model. And the final model is perfect because the first time you like introduce a data set into the process, I find it's going to be lossy. There's going to be flaws. It's not going to get stuff. And there's going to be mistakes you made in putting together that data set that it's going to think or things you meant. But once you like have that data set, you can use that model to build out a whole new data set. Then it's pretty much perfect. Like I think the most I've ever had to do is like 3 iterations of that, of like, you know, building a data set, training the model, building a new data set, and then working down the line until you have something you're really happy with.
Yeah. Honestly, this is going to sound weird, but that's very similar to what Liza Minnelli has been doing. Allison Sheridan sent me this today. Liza Minnelli putting out her first album in 13 years because she's using generative models to make the track, and she's using 11 Labs. She's basically doing almost exactly what you're doing, which is using an 11 Labs tool to help her make her own music. She's clear. She's like, they are not creating, cloning, or copying my voice. She's using AI for the arrangement, not for the vocals.
Gotcha.
And it allowed her to do something in a way that she wouldn't have done before. There's also a track on the album from Art Garfunkel, where he does a spoken word part that she put music behind with a generated piano track.
Oh, nice.
You could still tear this down and say like, well, you took a job away from a pianist, Liza Minnelli, and you certainly could afford to pay a pianist for that. And I suppose that's true, but it sounds like she wouldn't have gone to the trouble, right?
Yeah.
The time it would take to find someone and work with them and everything, she probably wouldn't have done it at her age, but because she was able to just sit down and say like, well, I want it to sound like this, and it made it sound like that. She was able to release an album. I think these edge cases are the things I like, because I too am not happy with the idea of people creating slop. I too am not happy with the idea of someone not being able to make a living anymore because they're no longer valued because they were replaced by a thing that makes slop. But I don't think that's all of what's happening. And I'm not trying to deny that maybe that's happening here and there. It absolutely is. But I think there are also these tools that it's like, hey, Liza Minnelli's putting out an album. She wouldn't have. You could judge her for that if you want to. I wouldn't personally judge Liza Minnelli for anything at your peril. But here's a tool that helps somebody do something. And it's similar to you. Like, you're like, I can make this voice for a short period of time, but I wouldn't be able to sustain it enough to do it as much as I want. But I've got this tool now that lets you do that.
Yeah, let me give you another good moral use case that I use for the podcast. So I mentioned earlier, we did an entire musical episode, The Museum of What Was. I didn't write it as a musical, but I challenged myself to take one of the episodes I wrote for season 1 and turn it into a musical. So, so what I did with that, I have a history of music. You can go Google it. It's kind of embarrassing because I was a smoker and my voice cracked a lot. I was in a band back in the day called Classic Tragic Hero, who had some very minor hits on very, very early YouTube. So that was with my friend Stephen Carroll from high school. And yeah, there it is. And there's my friend Steve. And, we did stuff like that for a few years, had some early internet hits in the early days of YouTube and stuff. And then kind of went off to have our adult lives, reconnected a few years later on basically anytime I had a project, whether it was my podcast, Greetings from Storybrooke, that needed a theme song, or, for the Fakest, we did a lot of original songs. I would go to my friend Steve from high school, from Classic Tragic Hero, and he would whip something up for me because he was a keyboardist that did a lot of stuff with samples and MIDI and everything, and he could whip up something up really, really quickly and easily. There he is, Steve. And tragically, he was in line to help me with the Everly Heights project. And he ended up passing away right as I was getting it all going, like right as I was trying to get people set up to come and join me for Welcome Freshmen.
Oh, it's really horrible.
Yeah, it was not great. Both on a personal and a professional level. He was always a great friend of mine since I was a nerd who weighed about 150 more pounds, programming COBOL in high school, all the way up to, doing the fakest a couple of years ago. So it was really hard, but I thought one way I could try to honor him with this tech is I took all of our classic Tragic Hero music. We did 2.5 albums, depending on how you count it. And I put it in one mega MP3 file. I uploaded that to Suno because they have where you can upload a style sample. Mm-hmm. So I uploaded that big mega track to Suno as a style sample. Now I have that, I think it's called Classic Tragic Voice, that I can select, and it'll produce songs in that style. Suno also has song to song. Obviously, I was in a band. I can play guitar. I can write songs. So any song that appears in Everly Heights Tales, I sit down and do a really crappy version with my 40-year-old throat, sing it into Suno, and then use the Classic Tragic Hero persona I have in Suno to create the final song. And sometimes I'll even, Suno will let you export out stems, drums, bass, voice. And for the Museum of What Was, my character, Don House, I actually went back in and sang the 2 songs he sang with my own voice. So.
Yeah.
And then auto-tune. Lots of auto-tune.
But that's crazy because, I've definitely heard people say things like, I wish I could sing like I did in my 20s. And you're like, you hear, I can. I literally can. Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah, and it's like I always lean more towards open source. You can run them on your own machines versus services. And so there might be something in open source out there that can get a bit more exact with it. Mm-hmm. But anything I generate with the Classic Tragic Hero persona is close enough that I can kind of hear Steve in it still.
Oh, that's so
I can kind of hear his style, or Steve probably would have picked that organ sample, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I imagine people have mixed feelings about that, right? Because there's a lot of people who are weird about bringing back dead relatives and, animating them and having them talk to you sounds creepy. And when you put it that way, it does. But what you're talking about is hearing something reminiscent of your friend that reminds you of him and goes, yeah, he would have picked that. And you're not really recreating him, but you're keeping his spirit involved in there. And again, trained on your stuff, right? Not stolen from the internet or synthesized.
Exactly. And to put a final point on it too, I was going to go to the Human, and the Human's not there anymore, sadly.
Yeah, right.
And so I could have abandoned that connection to Wheeling in the project, or I could adapt. And I found a tool that allowed me to adapt a little bit.
That's really it's a really interesting test case of that, and I'm curious what people think of that. Feedback at dailytechnewsshow.com if you've got further thoughts on that. I mean, because hearing you say it, I'm like, yeah, that's really sweet, and it's a way to keep your friends' influence living, right? We always talk about immortality is in the legacy of your work. That is the legacy of his work. But then there are also, I think on paper, if people aren't hearing you talk about it and hearing the full story, they're like, oh, well, that's keeping, he doesn't get a choice anymore. Why is it allowed that you do that? And I can see that line of thinking and that logic, but I really like what you're doing with it too. So
yeah, and it's really an extension of what I'm doing with the writing of Everly Heights too, because all the stories of Everly Heights, they're based on either things that happened to me or situations that are similar to things that happened to me. Yeah. And that's really all I'm doing. I'm taking real life actually, honestly, a lot of times real life people, and I'm smoothing out the edges to an artistic point, right?
Yeah.
I'm taking it and I'm averaging it out like AI does, like AI slop does, but I'm doing it to make a bust of Caesar and not to make a weird misshapen head with 3 ears, So,
or some zombie Caesar automaton. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. BioCow says, so which one is Tom? I'm not sure what that's referring to, Biocap.
I'm guessing he's saying character, and Tom's just all of the McFernies from The Fakest.
Yeah.
Bernie and Ernie and Lerny and Kearney, you know.
I forgot how many there were.
There are. And I will say, Tom, I don't know if I mentioned this before. I do have a mega plan to bring The Fakest into the continuity of Everly Heights. So a McFernie might get called again if that's the case. Just so
Gotcha.
you know. Just so you know.
I just noticed that Heaton has joined the live chat in the Substack. And I want to say, Heaton, I did get your message. Thank you for putting your fingerprints on the revolver, and I'll get back to you on that. You're a true friend. That's all I'll say. And we're almost done, so I'll call you in a few minutes. Man, so real quickly, this Chinese tea place, Chaji, have you ever heard of it? Chagee, not a sponsor.
I have not.
They opened in my neighborhood, big old grand opening, and Eileen wanted to go and like document it, and they gave away some free stuff if you went, and we're one of the first 200 people in line and all that. Wow, there's a lot of caffeine in this tea. I am literally shaking right now from drinking this.
Yeah,
This
I
is
couldn't
just a
make it-
jasmine green tea latte, and I'm like vibrating.
Yeah, I was wondering why you were looking so blurry. That explains it.
Like the flash.
He's actually semi out of phase right now. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I actually have been running to the tea shop and getting another one and coming back. You just so fast you didn't know.
In between frames on the camera. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, this is really, really fun. Let's remind people if they want to check out Everly Heights, where they should go. What's the easiest way for folks to go find it?
Well, the website's everlyheights.tv, and you can find it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere you get your podcast by searching for Everly Heights Tales. I do recommend the YouTube channel at Bill Meeks LA, where we post every episode, because a lot of times I do a video after show. For example, the stuff I was talking about, Steve, I did a whole few video after show where you can see our music videos from Classic Tragic Hero, some clips of Steve, stuff like that. So there's always bonus content. Make sure to go check that out too.
Excellent. So that's at Bill Meeks LA is the YouTube channel.
Yeah, at Bill Meeks LA, but you can get to everything through everlyheights.tv.
Everlyheights.tv is if you have to remember one, remember everlyheights.tv. Exactly. This was fantastic. Amos, anything else you want to let folks know about? We have our weekend episode of DTNS coming out, thanks to you editing and posting. That's Andrew Main talking about Cerebrus and Grok with a Q. These are chip makers and why they are interesting and possibly better than the kinds of chips that we've had for running generative models up till now. It's a great conversation with Andrew.
It's not a bunch of crappy chip talk, though. It's more ephemeral than that. It's
That's a good point. Yeah, this is not talking about the L4 cache.
Right.
This is telling you like, hey, these chips are good at this, and this is how it will affect your life.
Ideas and effects and things. It's interesting, and I'm not usually interested in a bunch of chip talk. So. There's that, and daily music headlines. We're boosting our Discord. We want to try to get some people in there, get some conversations going, and maybe do some live streams over there. So,
yeah, if you haven't checked out daily music headlines yet, you really, really should. You can put it on your Amazon Echo and just have it as part of your flash briefing. That's actually how I listen to it most mornings. It just comes up after the weather in my flash briefing order. And it's Brian Ibbett or Eileen Rivera, depending on the day, just giving you 5 minutes of like, here's everything going on in the world of music, no matter the genre. So you can kind of keep yourself up to date on the genres you don't follow, right? If you're like, I'm a country music fan, but I kind of want to know what's going on with R&B or K-pop or something like that. It's all in there. And it's 5 minutes. So perfect for a flash briefing or a quick podcast to kind of throw in and keep you up to speed and feel cooler because you know all these things about music that your friends don't know.
And it's still small enough that we'll listen to you if you email us.
Yeah. You could have a direct effect. And then the Discord's been really fun. We're doing all kinds of cool things in there. So what's the best way to send them to the Discord?
tiny.cc/DMH Discord.
Okay. So like Daily Music Headline Discord, DMH Discord.
Yep.
Got it. Tiny.cc.
And then I'll pop that up on screen in case somebody wants to see it. So tiny.cc/DMH Discord, Daily Music Headlines Discord.
All right. So you got EverlyHeights.tv, tiny.cc, DMH Discord. Bill Meeks, thanks, man. This is really fun.
Yeah, it's been way too long, Tom. We should talk more often.
Let's go meet at Shaji.
We'll do it.
I just need 6 more of these.
In 3 seconds.
I'll see you there now.
I've been needing to get hopped up on sugar, so yeah, that sounds good.
Awesome. Thanks everybody for watching as well. Good to see you all. Good to hang out. And like I said, we got the Andrew Main episode in the DTNS feed on the weekend, and then back with the Hangout office hours on Monday. Check that out. Of course, regular DTNSs and daily tech headlines and all of that as well. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you later. Bye.